So, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis 2 just wrapped up. Really, looking at the prelims, though, I gotta say a lot of those highlights were really good. I liked what I saw. It kind of blew some of those KOs and debuts blew me out of the water. I was like, wow. But then the main card came, and the main card was kind of lackluster, right? You had that first round KO in the co-main. And then you had, obviously, Zhang Weili versus Suarez. But the main event was really the one bright spot on the card that really had a lot of pizzazz that I was looking forward to because there was a lot of questions to be answered. And boy, did we get those questions answered. Did Dricus have what it takes to really beat Sean Strickland? Because that first fight, a lot of people felt Sean Strickland won. Understandably, I could see a lot of the takedown time that Dricus had in the first one, but he chose to stand with Sean Strickland, which honestly, looking at Dricus du Plessis and how he started in the octagon versus how he is now, you see those memes where he just shows up with no grace and just muscles his way through everything, no real technique, and that's why a lot of people were kind of doubting him, is because he was so sloppy. This was the most measured Dricus I have ever seen in the octagon. Ready to go. It just kind of goes to show, you could have a bad start or a questionable start because he was winning. He just looked very hittable. He looked very goofy to a lot of people, myself included. He was very animated, but it was amazing seeing him still be able to pull out wins like that. Now that he's measured and he's that beefed out and he's a specimen. He really is. So for Dricus, seeing him predict Sean's striking patterns, I'm surprised someone didn't do it sooner, to be honest. I like Sean Strickland, but stylistically, he has a jab, a straight, and a teep that are really sharp weapons. When you train martial arts, legitimately train with an MMA coach, they'll tell you have 2 or 3 really sharp knives to go with instead of a bunch of dull ones. He's got those sharp ones. He's got those sharp weapons. But when it comes down to adding more tools, because while you have those super small 3-1s, right? Those super sharp 3-1s, making this early in the morning. I just don't see why he's not adding more. He could have added a lot more in his time leading up to the second fight. That could have made a huge difference. But I didn't see too much of a difference between Sean Strickland now versus the first fight. The one that beat Adesanya. And he was able to beat Adesanya with those 3 really sharp moves. But just not now, because Dricus has been sharpening himself and had time to season himself. And Sean Strickland, he had his nose busted. It was unfortunate. That really put a damper. I thought he was going to get finished in the 4th round, but he toughed it out through the end. Strickland lost fair and square. This was a clear-cut victory for Dricus du Plessis. And it just kind of showed that, and Sean has definitely cemented a legacy that we never saw coming. I want to make that very clear. He's got no reason to hang his head, but you can tell he's more now about serving the fans and the people than chasing the title, and that's okay. If he wants to have title aspirations in the future or fight again, I think he could go ahead and do it. Obviously he's not done by any. You just lose to the champion. Okay, you still have reasons to fight. You still have reasons to love the fans. You still have reasons to meet up. Even when Tony Ferguson was on an 8-fight losing streak, he still serviced us fans. So why can't Sean Strickland do the same? He wants to do the same. He wants to be a fan person because he remembers no matter how good you are, how you paid it forward to the people who got you there are going to mean everything. And it's like when you make it, right? When you make it that successfully, let's say one day out of nowhere, this channel just blew up, right? It's a very small chance that's ever going to happen. I'm very humble about where I am in this MMA sphere on the internet. But it's like you want to pay that forward because that's how you're going to get the fan service. That's how you're going to get the fans and you to have a good relationship as you pay it forward. You find ways to remember who got it to you. And it's like right now I got to look like that's the one thing I could say me and Sean Strickland have in common besides me looking like his younger brother is the viewers are the people who give. And he understands that. So to see him completely go out in Sydney and service the fans and spar with them and just have a good time being Sean and being grateful that he's not where his life started, but he's successful, he's got a lot of friends, he's been on a journey. I think that's a little bit more powerful than winning the belt. No disrespect to Dricus. I gave my thoughts on Dricus about how he just is so stylistically sound and put now. And with his physicality, yeah, he is dangerous. But knowing who's next for the title fight, Khamzat Chimaev, I do think Dricus' time is going to come to a close very soon. Just because if Khamzat gets his hands on that belt and is a UFC champion, I don't really see very many people who could actually stop him. But we're going to have to wait and see. We could be completely wrong. I've had my doubts about Khamzat, but after that Robert Whittaker fight, I just don't see any reasons to doubt him. So I think this is the last competitive style fight that's going to happen before Khamzat bursts onto the scene. And honestly, if Dricus can stop Khamzat, who am I to say he can't? But seeing how Khamzat's just going to grab you at will and take you down and absolutely do what he does, it's going to be, I don't think that anyone else is going to hold that title for a long time. But I could be wrong about that. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, and take care. Cheers.